Wait, so you're saying, so just to be clear, so you're saying every month or every week you live paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're saying that you live paycheck to paycheck, and every month you put aside $100 a week?
Yeah, but that's depleted by the next payday because I'm using that for gas.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. So do you usually, if you can't go to your wife, because you mentioned that you go to your wife generally,
Yeah.
do you think that like you'd ask like just other friends and family, or do you think that you'd probably be more likely to go to like a payday lender?
Yeah, payday lender, yeah.
A payday lender. Okay. Even though it's like 400% interest.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because
Yeah.
if you need it, I've used them before. And, so you pay $55, I think it was $55.
Okay.
No, $45, I think, yeah. You borrow $255 and then you pay back $300, so it costs you $45.
Okay. So if I gave you a website that basically let you get access to that money, and I give you the loan onto your phone, so you know Apple Pay or Google Pay, right?
I'm not really familiar with it.
Okay, so you're not really familiar with it, but what if I told you that you, instead of using, like a credit card, you can pull out like a physical plastic credit card, right? What if I told you that instead of having to wait for one of those to get sent to you via the mail, because let's say that you like aren't eligible for credit,
Yeah.
or a credit card, would you be willing to like use your phone to make payments at like Safeway, for example, or 7-Eleven will accept like your phone for payment? Would that be something that would interest you if it were only like $20 when you want to borrow $250? So it's half the price?
I just don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just don't know too much about that kind of thing to give you an intelligent answer.
So that's fine. But let's say that if you had, let's say at some point in the future, you had to go to another payday loan place, right? And you saw that while you were waiting in line, there was a website that could give you a loan for a tenth of the price, right? Because you're paying some amount of money, right? And if I were to be like, I'll give you this loan for much, much cheaper, a tenth of the price. So let's say I charge you 40% instead of 400%.
Yeah.
Or the equivalent on that amount of money of like $2 versus the $50 or $45. Would that be of interest?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Or if there was some kind of slush fund thing to where you have on your Lyft app, it shows your pay statement and everything, how much you make, how much is deducted, and maybe I would have a $500 line of credit, so I can always. The thing is, for a person like me, if they gave me a $500 line of credit, that would be used up in 2 seconds.
Really?
And then I would be paying on it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And
but what if
then another emergency comes in, because every month there's some kind of emergency.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what? So if, let's say, there was like in the app it gave you $500, right? How much money would it have to give you where you wouldn't have to worry about it anymore? Like,
it's hard to say, because the problem is that you give something like that, they're going to use it right away.
Yeah.
It's just going to be gone, and they're going to be back to square one again. Let's see, 3 day.
But
yeah, they're just going to be there. So then they're going to be in a position where they're right where they were before, except they've just depleted all of their credit.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the problem. It's just that's why don't have credit cards, because I know that if I had a credit card with a $30,000 limit.
So you couldn't trust yourself with it is kind of the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get that. My mom's the same way. She just hates credit.
Yeah.
And doesn't like being in debt.
Yeah, so I'm kind of like the wrong person to ask about this, because...
No, I think that's actually like the perfect person to ask, because like if you don't trust it, there's a lot of people out there that are kind of like you that don't trust the banks.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, right? Because the banks are kind of like these evildoers in some ways.
Oh, yeah. They're necessary evil.
Yeah. Necessary evil. That's a really good way to put it.
Oh, yeah. So they, I could imagine something like where they write on my pay statement, this is how much they paid me this week, and this is how much money I have in case I need it for an emergency. Well, guess what? I have an emergency just about every month.
Okay.
And,
how much does that emergency usually cost?
Anywhere from $250 to $1,000.
Okay, so from $250 to $1,000, but probably an average of $500, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then what'll happen is I'll be given $500, even $1,000. It still won't be enough because number one, I'm going to spend it, and number two, the next time an emergency comes around, I already used it.
So is the problem that when you spend the money, you aren't spending it on things that help you, like, maintain your ability to drive the Uber? Like, are you spending it on, like, frivolous things?
No, not for... No, this is purely survival mode. This is, especially the past 10 years, I've been in survival mode.
So,
because I'm just not a computer tech making $250,000 every year.
I totally get that. My mom's the same way. Yeah. She makes like 30, 80 grand a year.
Yeah, which used to be really good money.
Yeah.
But in the Bay Area, when rents are at least $3,000, forget about it.
Yeah. So do you just live somewhere that's a little bit further out, so it's a little bit cheaper?
Well, in my situation, my wife owns a house, so
Okay.
we live there. So,
Well, that's nice.
yeah.
That works out well. Congrats.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we live in Los Gatos.
No, nice.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's good to be Elvis. But if I didn't have that, I would probably still be working at the post office, making $60,000, $70,000, and just barely making it.
Yeah.
Because rents are like $3,000. They're going up to $4,000 and $5,000. I was pretty lucky. I got a place for $900.
Oh, that's really good.
Oh yeah.
Because you probably qualified for like affordable housing or something, right?
Nope. See, and that's the problem with this society. The system is set up to help the very rich and the very poor. I don't make enough money really to live in the Bay Area, but I make too much money to qualify for any kind of aid.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, well, that's the way most people are.
And that's exactly what I remember it was when I was going to college. My mom had to, she wasn't able to save up enough to pay for my college.
Yeah.
So I had to like take out loans, but I couldn't get and she couldn't get the cheap loans because we didn't qualify for all the assistance because she made just enough to get by, but not enough to qualify for assistance.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the big problem.
And it's always been that way.
It's always been that way, really.
Yeah, I would love to live in public housing and pay 1/4 of my pay. Unfortunately, they consider that I'm too rich for that, and so who gets to stay there? Some bum that doesn't want to work.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's just the way it is. And it's set up to, and I was just hearing this documentary. It's going to be playing on PBS. You might want to look for it. The deal is, welfare is supposed to help people.
Yep.
And so, the mother with the children, she gets her welfare check, but a man is not allowed to live with her in the housing that's provided to her. make sure there's no men's clothing and no razors, you know. And so a system that was designed to help the poor basically broke up families, because now you have a man, his kids, but if she's married, she's not going to qualify for that welfare.
Yeah.
And so the kid grows up basically without a father. You might see him every once in a while, but certainly not allowed to live there. And if he can't live there, he's not really there's no way for him to become a man of the house and have control over his kids. And so the kids just become criminals, and the cycle goes on.
Yeah.
So a lot of people in the Bay Area like me are just in survival mode.
How many of your friends do you think are in that situation?
Everybody.
Everybody?
Yeah.
How many,
Well, everybody that I know works for the post office.
Okay.
Now the thing is, there's about 10% of the people that work at the post office that are probably either retired now or ready to retire. They bought their house in the Bay Area
a long time ago, probably.
In the 80s. They probably paid like $200,000 for it. Now it's probably close to $2 million. So those ones, about 10% of the people that work at the post office are doing pretty good. But the people that came in later, which was most of them, there's just no way for them to own a house. And then what they can do is they can sell the house, which some of them have already done. They retired from the post office, sold their Bay Area house, and bought a McMansion in Arizona.
That sounds like a smart way to go.
Oh yeah, or Henderson or Las Vegas. A few of them moved to Las Vegas, sell their house for $1 million or $2 million. So they lucked out, you know. They were able to. But anybody that started working at the post office after the year 2000 just has no ability whatsoever to live what we would think of as a normal life, where you have a job, you have so much money for the mortgage payment, you have so much money for the car payment, and then the rest for food, and you're doing pretty good. Now, people are spending more than half. You know, you're only supposed to, theoretically, on paper, the ideal situation is you're only supposed to spend no more than 1/4 of your income on housing.
Yeah.
But that's impossible to do here, unless you're making $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
With some computer job.
So
now you can still do that in, you can still have a blue collar job and be able to buy a house in Phoenix or. But here in the Bay Area, people are. It's just everything is completely out of whack.
So I have a question for you. If I were to offer you, obviously you're going to pay for this Uber ride or this Lyft ride.
Yes.
If I were to offer you $1,000, and the only thing that I ask for in exchange is that you pay me back $100 a month for the next 10 months. Do you think that would be helpful to you? Literally just paying me back the original $1,000, but you pay me back equally payments over the next 10 months.
Yeah, that would. It depends on what the situation is, but that would be helpful. But the problem is when people are in a survival mode like this.
Yeah.
And you got Uber drivers living in their cars.
Yeah.
See, the problem is you borrow $1,000. Now they're tied to that paying back $100 a month.
Yeah.
Which is a great deal, but the thing is, what happens when there's another emergency 2 months later and they need another $1,000?
Yeah. So that's the question is, but if you had to borrow the money though, do you think that wouldn't it be better to only pay the amount that you borrowed?
Oh, well, everybody wants that.
Yeah.
Now the problem is, this is why we have interest rates and credit ratings, because some people just will not pay back.
Yeah.
And in order to get a loan, a low interest loan or even a no interest loan, you have to demonstrate for many years that you pay people back.
But what if like, let's say for example, you and I remembered you because I knew that you drove me last time. So I know that you have a stable job, or like a job that you can make money at, that you've been doing for a little while, right? And I know that like $1,000 would help you out. Okay. Why not use that as an opportunity for like me to basically recognize that you're actually credit worthy, even though do you know what your real credit score is? Have you ever been on like Credit Karma or something?
Yeah, I have a very low credit score.
That's okay. What do you mind me asking?
400 or something.
Like 400?
Something like 450.
Or 450?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that like it would like basically I'd love to run the experiment with you. Like I give you $1,000 and basically I charge you over the 10 months that original $1,000. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, that sounds great. Especially, see, I get paid every week, and if I could get a deal like that, I would pay $25 per week.
Okay.
That would be even easier.
Okay, then why don't we do that? Every payday, you pay me. What would it have to be? Let's say each month you'd owe me $100 of the original amount.
Yeah. Or
and then
$25 per week.
Or $25 per week.
See, because $25 is not going to be missed out.
Yeah. So $25 per week would be a better way for you to pay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could just basically do $25 a week for the next 10 months. And then I would over time get that original $1,000 back.
Oh yeah.
Would that work for you?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let's say hypothetically I charged $30, so just a little bit more, but still way cheaper than the payday loan, right? And you can spread it over more time. Would that be good?
Well, anything is good. It's just that you have to calculate when you're going to have your next emergency, because you want to have your first loan paid off before you get your next emergency.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because the thing about credit is, you start borrowing stuff. Well, every month you gotta make payments, and pretty soon those payments get more and more and more. Before you know it, you're spending your entire paycheck just paying back the loan.
Yeah.
And you don't have any money for rent.
Yeah. So, but do you think that would be a good deal? Is I give you $1,000 and then you give me back $30 every week for 10 months?
That would be a great deal.
Okay, all right, that would be a great deal. Okay, well, why don't we do that? What's your phone number or email?
My email. You're gonna actually lend me money as an experiment?
Yeah, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
You'll take my money.
Yeah, I'll take your money.
I like money.
Yeah.
If it's okay with you, and basically what we'll do is you have Venmo, I'm assuming, right? Or you know what Venmo is?
No, I never.
Okay, you know what?
I know what PayPal is.
Okay, you can basically just PayPal me the money every month or every week. Sorry, just PayPal me $25 a week, and I'm just gonna like keep track of it. And if it works, then it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the money. I'll take the dough. I don't. You're gonna have to show me on this phone to. I'm computer illiterate.
That's totally fine if you're computer illiterate.
You're gonna have to get me on a PayPal account.
Okay.
And
I'll show.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay.
Cool.
I'll be able to pay my wife back the $250 I borrowed this morning. I promised I would pay her back next Wednesday.
Yeah.
So she'll be surprised when I pay her back early. Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
So this is going to be tied to my bank account.
Yeah, if that's okay.
Oh yeah.
And then that'll be basically like a little experiment that I'm running to like, it's social good. Basically, it's me trying to give back to society. Like, I'll be honest with you, my story is my mom like grew up like lower class, and she was a single mom. She had me when she was in her teens.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate enough that I now have like kind of made it to one of those tech jobs. And like I worked my ass off for it, and my mom worked her ass off to help get me there, working like 2 jobs and going to school at the same time. And I want to give back to society by experimenting and seeing if I gave people what's effectively like just cheap loans, would that help them improve their lives? And you're an interesting case because I've met you before, and I think it would be really, really cool to try it out with somebody that I've met before.
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, once we do this, we'll pause the lift, and once we get to the destination, and then we can.
Now, here's the deal. Once we get to San Francisco, this thing goes nuts, and it's giving me rides before I even drop you off.
Oh, really?
So you might want to call me or have me call you when I'm off duty.
Okay. Why don't we just have it so that you don't cancel the ride? So like, just keep it going on me. And just I'll keep paying for it as we set you up. Does that sound good?
Oh yeah, that'll be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I just will press drop off.
Yeah, just don't press drop off until we're done setting up your phone. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Awesome. All right, I have to. Let's see. I guess
10 right now.
Yeah, I think I might be a little late to my meeting. That's okay though. Okay, cool. I'm gonna pause this.